What's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu. So I came across this tweet from Glenn Greenwald, and I just found this like very, very like telling about the Intercept. But I had originally seen it on Matt Taibbi's page, and but I went right to the source with Glenn Greenwald. So he tweets out, "This is repulsive. The Intercept was founded during the Snowden story to defend privacy rights and oppose the security state. Now the liberal DNC hacks who edited it are boasting they got personal data from Gab users and are sorting through it, doing FBI's work to find extremists." So I'm not like too familiar with Gab, but apparently it's a right-wing site, kind of like well, not right-wing, but like a lot of right-wingers go to it because Twitter, kicks them off and everything. So it's kind of like Parler in a sense and everything. But this is what the Intercept put out. Donald Trump is gone from the White House, but make no mistake, white supremacists, QAnon believers, and Trump election fraud conspiracists still pose a grave threat to our democracy and our safety. We've gotten a hold of a massive data dump on the users of Gab, the far-right social media network that's become a safe haven for all the people Facebook and their ilk kicked off of their platforms. Since its creation in 2016, Gab has harbored a who's who of dangerous extremists, from Alex Jones to the gunman who murdered 11 people at a Pittsburgh synagogue, to QAnon devotee Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Earlier this year, a hacker obtained 65 gigabytes of data from the site and shared it with media organizations like the Intercept to investigate. Right now, the Intercept is digging through this massive data dump to uncover everything we can about these violent white supremacists. Will you chip in and help our team continue its reporting on extreme right wingers, right wingers, whatever. And of course, there they go asking for money. They're literally funded by a billionaire, but are asking people for money. I'm not going to go into the weeds of that. He goes on and says bold adversarial journalism serving as mouthpieces for the CIA and acting as monitoring cops for the FBI. Liberal political hacks ruin everything. The Intercept is shit. And that's the founder of the Intercept saying that. Glenn Greenwald, the fucking founder, saying that. The people who run the Intercept now had nothing to do with its founding. They just leech off those who did and are authoritarian shit lips. So this is what they do. The only saving grace is that outside like 3 writers, nobody reads that rag. And I think he was commenting on somebody who was responding. They said it's hard to imagine a worse perversion of the Intercept's mission than using hacked documents to shine light on the communications of ordinary citizens. So the whole point that Glenn is getting at is that they're literally doing this like in a sense to tattletale on American citizens. Basically, that's basically what they're doing, and it's disgusting. It's horrible. Now I do want to highlight. I can't. Where's this joint at right now? Let me go to the Matt Taibbi one because Whitney Webb commented on that, and I like to keep it. I keep it fair. I keep it straight up. She had, she got a little beef with Glenn because of something that happened. I forgot what exactly, but I'm gonna go to the tweet. I'm going to the tweet right now, as you say. Oh yeah. But the Bellingcat example, Glenn Greenwald was still there and was pretty dismissive of concerns about it at the time. Also, Greenwald was part of the WikiLeaks FPF controversy and got called out by Assange. Glad he's calling it out now and that he's gone at least. So I don't know what that whole thing is. I'm gonna have to look into that more, but I just wanted to show that because she kind of has some criticism for Glenn. So, and I've heard her talk about him before, like criticizing him and everything. So I'm definitely gonna look more into that. Glenn Greenwald is one of my favorite writers and everything. Like, I will admit I have a bias towards that. I read one of his before I became super politically inclined. I was like politically inclined for like a week. And this was back in like 2014, 2015, I think, like my senior year in high school. And I went back and started reading about Glenn Greenwald's reporting. Like, I read one of his reports at the Guardian, I believe, that he was reporting at the time. I read that, and it just blew my mind, like the whole Snowden story and everything. And then I remember watching Citizen 4 back then, and it freaked me out so much. I recently rewatched it again, and it still freaks me out to this day, because like, just one of the scenes that freaks me out the most is when they're sitting in the hotel room and the fire alarm goes off, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, obviously nothing happened because they put the movie out and everything. Like, SWAT and CIA and goons didn't come in and fucking blow Snowden's brains out, obviously, but or take him back to the United States. But that shit was so chilling, bro. It was creepy because at any moment somebody could come busting down that door. Anybody from the CIA, Hong Kong police to maybe a possible assassin. You never know with the United States. So that was one of the freakiest parts of that movie for me. But just to get back to this topic specifically though, but the fact that you guys are leaking, you're basically tattletelling on your on your fellow citizens, and your fellow Americans. And it's like, look, I can understand Trump supporters' views and everything. Like, obviously I don't support white supremacists and shit like that, like, at all. Like, don't fuck with them at all. But when it comes to like the QAnon shit and everything, like they were saying, QAnon believers, there's some truth in QAnon. Nobody's saying that. They're just like, oh, QAnon is bullshit, blah blah blah. Like, nobody's talking about the ties Epstein has had to all these people. Nobody's talking about the ties that Epstein, but more so Ghislaine Maxwell and her father, have to the Israeli government. Nobody's talking about this shit, and it's like they're just taking the most outlandish shit, like people eating babies and shit like that, and all that jazz and everything, and using that to just write it completely off. It's like, nah, bro, like this motherfucker, like there's a lot of shit in there about Bill Gates. Like, Bill Gates is like photographed with this motherfucker along with Jamie Dimon, like all of these people that are linked up with Epstein. And then when you go into the weird, and this is all based off of Whitney Webb's reporting that I've read about Epstein, which is thorough as fuck. I've watched a lot of Graham Elwood's videos with her on there and everything, but just how this motherfucker was linking up with like fucking eugenicist scientists, and one of the reasons why he fucking he was so fascinated with young girls was because he wanted to sow his seed and make like this like super Epstein baby or some shit like that. I'm paraphrasing Whitney Webb, but some crazy shit. And this is real shit. This is documented shit the motherfucker was known to have said, and Ghislaine Maxwell as well. So it's like, just to write QAnon off as complete bullshit is fucking ridiculous. Like, literally the only fucking part about QAnon is bullshit for the most part is the Trump aspect of shit. Like, Trump's trying, he's here to take out all the pedophiles and everything, and just sit back and every time Trump like, I wish her well, it's all part of the plan, just sit back and wait. That's the psyop part. That's the bullshit part, because Donald Trump is a pedophile too. Donald Trump is in pictures with Epstein, all this shit. Donald Trump is a pedophile too. So it's like, the fact that it's like the right QAnon off the way, and the mainstream media is doing it, they're leading the charge because they're paid off by these same pedophile CEOs that own their companies, and business owners and billionaires that own the fucking news media. The Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, he was known to have hung around Ghislaine Maxwell a lot. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister is actually tied deeply into the Silicon Valley circles and everything, the tech circles and everything. So, and also I want to comment on the Trump election fraud conspiracist and everything, because it's like, look, am I one of those people that thinks the election was rigged? I go back and forth on it, honestly, because it's like, on one hand, it's like, all right, like this motherfucker, like just when people like talk about like sheer numbers, like I don't get too swayed by, oh, Biden supposedly got 71 million votes, but only 11 million people showed up to his speech. Totally rigged. It's like, bro, people weren't fucking enthusiastic about the nigga at all. And no, I didn't vote for him, but you have people that hated Trump so much. You have the block of people of shit libs that just hate and despise Trump. Then you have the block of people that are apolitical but lean more center left and shit like that don't fuck with Trump. So they went out and voted for Trump. Then you have a lot of the midway people, like, now, no, I think it was like, I forgot what the report was. I think like 80 something million people didn't vote this time, or close to, no, I think it was 93 or something like that. I forgot what the exact number was, but you have the midway people that did go out and vote that were basically like, oh yeah, like we don't fuck with Trump either. And then when he comes out saying there's gonna be no more stimulus until I win the election, bro, like what? His handling of COVID, and no, not everybody, and I get it. People in our circles more so are skeptical about COVID, which is fine. I'm skeptical about COVID as well. I don't think it's completely made up the way a lot of people believe. I think that, it was a serious issue for people with underlying illnesses. I do think it killed people. I don't think it killed as many people as they say. I definitely do not believe it killed 500,000 people. The 500,000 people they say it did. I don't believe that number at fucking all. But I think it did kill a good chunk of people out of that. Out of the 526,000, whatever they trying to, they're you know, the 500,000 people they say, I'll say probably killed about half that, 250 around there, maybe. And that's a strong maybe. So, but it's like nobody's talking about this shit in a rational lens. Everybody's talking about it through a very hyper partisan lens. And even somebody like, you know, it's just like shit like this does not help at all. Like this is trying to push these people out of society. And it's like I think it was Richard Wolff or Jeffrey Sachs, I forget which one, both, you know, but they were like, where do you think these people are going to go? Like, you block them off of Twitter. Like, these people aren't just going to magically go away or just magically go, you know, we were so wrong about our views, so we're going to come up. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, these people are they're going to congregate together. And it's like the whole point of America is everybody having their views but still coming together under the unification of America. That's what the whole idea of what America is supposed to be. We all know that the idea of America is bullshit. However, the concept of collectivism, you know, regardless of your background, beliefs, whatever, that is something that I still hold on to. I just don't ascribe that to an American lens, because we all know America's bullshit. They like to throw that. They basically like to use that when it's something that the establishment wants, and then it's quickly out the window when the establishment has nothing to gain within it. So, but again, I got sidetracked there again, but yeah, this is just despicable. The fact that the Intercept goes from being one of the leading voices and like he said about the state spying on people and, you know, defending private citizens' privacy and everything like that, and civil liberties and everything, to go from that to being people who are tattletelling to the FBI about American citizens and using leaked data to basically. So literally, this is like a Darkest Timeline version. I don't know if you guys ever watched the old Justice League cartoons, but my homie gave me his HBO Max password, and I've been going through the old Justice League cartoons, and I go back. When I think about this, I think about the Justice Lords story, the Justice Lords episodes when they go to like a parallel Earth or a parallel dimension that's different from the main Justice League's dimension. So it's like, you know, instead, like, Superman basically kills Lex Luthor and they become the Justice Lords and become this authoritarian version of the Justice League, and they rule the world and shit like that, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like the Crisis on Two Earths concept, but more so just with the Justice League characters, like alternate versions of Superman, alternate authoritarian versions of Batman. Not necessarily evil, but authoritarian. But kind of reminded me of that. This reminds me of that episode, like literally using using a data leak to basically inform the FBI. It's fucking insane, man. And that's like Glenn said, it's a bunch of shit libs running in now. That's the fucking problem. Like, they tried to censor him with the Hunter Biden story, and that's another one as well. There was credible evidence about Hunter Biden. And I think I said in one of my videos before, like, I talked to a friend of mine who knows the computer shop owner. He's not some fucking partisan hack. He's a guy who owns a computer store, and Hunter Biden probably came to his store coked up, yacked up, or coming down off of being yacked up, and fucking gave him his laptop and completely forgot about it. So in that sense, yeah, I can kind of believe him when he says, I don't know. And kind of in that sense, because he was probably yacked up and forgot. He was coked, drugged up, whatever the fuck, cracked up. It's a fucking crackhead. So, but it's just like that. He's not some, like, but the computer owner's not some partisan hack or some shit like that. So, but it's just very troubling to see with the Intercept. Like, we had very few imprints, you know, and journalist outlets that were doing good shit. Now, honestly, I go to people's Substacks, you know, and read their work there in the Gray Zone, literally, and whatever recommendations. There's a website called Indie Left Media. I think Ron Placone runs it or something like that. He's involved with it somehow, and they just post different progressive stories and everything. Those are mostly where I get my, you know, read my information from. And of course, I still do watch mainstream media to pick through the bullshit. And same thing with, you know, the right wing conservative media. Like, I feel like you should still watch other media. You know, don't just get caught up in your own bubble. You feel me? Because I feel like that's what happens to a lot of these progressives. They get caught in their own fucking bubble, and then they become Sam Cedar, or they become Cenk Uygur or Anna Kasparian, you know, down the list, whatever. So I used to like a lot of those people. I used to like I never really liked Sam Cedar, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really liked him or Michael Brooks. You know, I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but they always came off as very like arrogant and like talking down to people all the time and shit like that. Like they literally reminded me of the white liberals, the Brooklyn liberals that Max Blumenthal talks about all the time. Like, bro, I can't fuck with y'all like that. Like, y'all niggas be like fucking talking down to people and shit. Like, and like, so I feel like that's how you become those types and everything. But I used to fuck with Cenk, man, him going off in studio, and then Anna, obviously, you know, Jimmy Dore is one of my huge inspirations when it comes to talking politics and everything. But man, it's a shame to see the Intercept go down this path, and they still put out good stories every now and then. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and pretend like they don't put out any good stories, but it's from the very few good writers still left there, like Lee Fang. Probably count on your fingers how many good writers there are. So, but I've been rambling on long enough. I'm going to go ahead and end the story there. As always, if you're on YouTube, guys, I'm at 590 subscribers, and as you know, and I should probably do a story about this, given that it directly affects my channel, but the YouTube CEO already admitted that they stifle independent media outlets, and specifically independent like political shows like mine and everything. So definitely share this and, you know, get people hitting that subscribe button. I'm at 590 subscribers right now. Let's try and get me to let's get me to 1K. Let's get me to 1K by the end of May. I think we could do that. I don't think that's too far out there. You know, if you're on Odyssey, definitely hit that flame emoji, show love on there. I'm on Odyssey as well. I'm still working on getting to Rockfin. I know a lot of y'all have been telling me to get on Rockfin. I'm going to get on there eventually. I want to get stable in doing the show consistently before I go on to Rockfin. So, and yeah, so just keep sharing, definitely comment. I'm going to try, I'm probably not going to do a Fan Friday Friday comments video this Friday, because I'm not going to drop a lot of content this week like that, but I might do a live stream. I will let you guys know Friday if I'm going to do a live stream Saturday. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace.